everyone, this is Katie from Homes For You Real Estate, and today I'm going to be talking about landlord's insurance and the importance of having rent default cover when you have an investment property. There's been a situation which has been bothering me on my way home today, and I'm doing a bit of an impromptu session on it now because it's just consuming me and I want to get it out. So basically, we've had a situation where there's been rental arrears. The notice to remedy breach has been issued on day 8. The tenants have failed to issue the notice to remedy breach. We've then issued a notice to leave, which then expired, and the tenants had not handed over vacant possession of that property. A lot of people are aware of that process. Most people are not aware of what happens afterwards and the time frames of which it actually takes to physically get people out when they're not handing over vacant possession of the property. So when we get to that point where the notice to leave has expired, the following business day we can then proceed to lodge an urgent application to QCAT. So that would be for a termination for failure to leave, which would then be a warrant of possession being granted. So you can lodge that application within 14 days of the notice to leave expiring. However, obviously you want to be doing that as a matter of urgency, particularly in the instance of rental arrears, because at that point you're probably looking at least 16 days behind at that stage once you've followed the initial process, and then you've then got the following process to go through. So you go to lodge your documents with QCAT for your urgent application. It can then take a couple of weeks to actually have a hearing scheduled, depending on how busy the courts are at that time. Once you actually get to your hearing, if you are granted the termination, you then are sometimes looking at maybe a week for the tenants to get out before you can then proceed with your warrant of possession, or sometimes it will be immediate termination of the following day. In saying that, however, the warrant of possessions only get carried out on certain days, and it normally, it's not an immediate thing. You're potentially looking at another 10 days or a week or what have you, and by that point you've gone, from 16 days in arrears easily to 38 to 40. Your tenants are a month behind and you haven't had that rental income come in, so it's financial hardship for the owners at that point. And a lot of people don't realise that it actually takes quite an extended time for people to be evicted for rental arrears. This is where the landlord's insurance will come in. As you can imagine, when you get to a month's rent behind, your bond's gone way before that. Your bond is normally utilised for your cleaning up, your carpet cleaning, some yard work. People who are normally in arrears don't generally leave the property in spick and span condition. Sometimes you need to get the locks changed as well during a warrant of possession. So it's all dependent on that and where the bond's absorbed. So majority of the time that bond's absorbed with just cleaning up the place, and then you're out of pocket still a month's rent. So this is where the landlord's insurance comes in, and this is why we recommend specific insurers that cater to landlord's insurance and will cover you from day one of arrears. And it's so important, especially at this time of year. Imagine if you had a tenant who's not paid rent for a month. You've followed all the correct processes and procedures, but it's just taken this long to get them out. Through that process, you haven't had income for that time. So it's so important to have it, because you will get covered for rent default in that kind of situation if you've got the right insurer, and you should get covered for pretty well most of that arrears period, depending obviously on the situation. But it's vital, it really is, because any tenancy can go pear-shaped, as we've spoken about before. But yeah, in this situation, the rent loss cover isn't quite what the owner's expecting, and it's really hurt. So that's why I wanted to do a chat about that one today. So if you've got any questions, please post them in the comments below or send us a message. I hope this has helped fill in some blanks. Hopefully, if any of you are investors, you won't ever have to go through this, but if you do, I hope that it's helped just cement that process in a little bit. So Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye.